Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. Today we're going to talk about something a little different than what we normally talk about. If you're new to my channel, I'm a professional voiceover artist. I'm also an independent filmmaker. So 9 times out of 10, we're talking about movies or, whether it's Halloween or Star Wars or Indiana Jones or whatever the case is, we're usually talking about something related to the motion picture industry because that's the industry I'm in and that's where my interest lies. We don't talk about politics or religion here, folks. No. But today we're not going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about the solar eclipse because, listen, I'm an opinionated guy. Things tend to grind my gears, and 9 times out of 10 when that happens, I like to make a video and express my thoughts. And if you like listening to it, then great. If not, well, then fuck you too. I'm just kidding. Relax. So we're going to talk about the solar eclipse that happened yesterday, Monday, August the 21st, 2017. It's the 22nd of August today, as of shooting this video, that is. So it's a day later. But what I want to talk about is specifically 2 images that made the rounds on social media yesterday, and they're still making the rounds, that have been shared millions of times, thousands of likes, that have duped I'd think 90 to 95% of the people who saw the image and shared it. Now, it didn't dupe everybody, okay? Not everybody was fooled. I wasn't fooled, and I'll get into why. But I just find it so interesting from a sociological perspective, okay? And I'll get into all that in a few moments. But first, I want to talk about my experience with the solar eclipse. Now, I'm from Toronto, Canada. It's summertime here, so yesterday was a gorgeous day. It was like 85 degrees. And I had to go into the city, downtown, and go to Chorus Entertainment and record some movie spots for the new Lego Ninjago movie, which comes out next month. So I had 3 movie spots to record. Only took didn't take that long actually, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They were pretty straightforward. And afterwards, the time was like 2 o'clock, and the producer says to me, "Hey, you want to go up to the roof and check out the eclipse, with everybody else?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it, dude." So we went up to the roof. Now here in Toronto, we didn't get a full solar eclipse. We only got about, I think 70 to 75% of the sun was covered. So it wasn't a full solar eclipse. And what surprised me, now you would think with 70, 75% of anything covered, that it would make quite a difference. Well, interestingly enough, when we were up at the rooftop with 70 to 75% of the sun covered, it was still actually really bright out. And it was gorgeous up there. Like, great view of Lake Ontario, the sun beating down, blue sky. It was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous day. Like 80 degrees out, 85 maybe. And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, the eclipse is happening? Like, what the hell? But the cool thing was that a lot of people had those special glasses, right? Now, I've never tried those on before, so this was my first experience. And I put them on. It's pitch black. You can't see anything. But when you look up at the sun, you can see it. I mean, it looks like a Ritz cracker, right? You know what I'm saying? And it was a crescent sun. I put the glasses on. I looked. I was like, oh my God, it's a crescent sun. 70 to 75% of the sun right now is covered. But when you take the glasses off, it was really cool because it still looked like it was 1:30 in the afternoon out, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or whatever. Yeah, it was like 2:30. So if you're somebody who wants to experience like that 9 o'clock kind of at night look at 2:30 in the afternoon with a solar eclipse, you got to have a full solar eclipse. So you got to go wherever the full solar eclipse is happening, because it's not going to happen with a partial or a half or even 3/4. So that kind of surprised me, because when I put it on, it was like, yeah, it looks like half a Ritz cracker. But when I take it off, it's like, it still looks really bright out here. It goes to show you how powerful the sun really is. So I left the studio probably around, 3:30 maybe, something like that, 3:45. I head back to the burbs. I get home. Last night I'm in bed with my girlfriend, and I think she's listening to a podcast or something, and I'm scrolling the Facebook. And this image right here comes on my feed. As soon as I saw this image, okay? Now look, as I said, I'm an independent filmmaker. I'm somebody that deals with videography, photography, Photoshop, After Effects, video editing software, compositing. I mean, I've been doing this for the better part of 16, 17 years. Anybody in the film industry, any professional filmmaker, any professional photographer would look at that image and instantaneously know it's fake. And there's many reasons why. But this image was shared millions of times by people asking no questions. And it was shared on the basis that it was a NASA image. Okay? Now, this is where it gets fascinating from a sociological perspective. All it said was NASA image. And the caption was something like, NASA did it right, or NASA got it right. And it was shared like over 2 or 3 million times. Thousands of comments. Everybody was like, oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, there is a God. Look, there is. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's amazing. Now, I'm not saying you're somebody that did that or thought that, but 95% of the comments were like, wow, amazing. And the people were sharing it, and it caught like wildfire. And I'm looking at this, and I show my phone to my girlfriend, and she's a photographer too. She has a degree in photography. And she looks at it, she goes, what's that, a movie poster? And I'm like, oh, apparently it's a NASA image of the eclipse. And she's like, yeah, no, that's not a NASA image of the eclipse. I'm like, I know it's not a NASA image of the eclipse. So, we come into my home studio, and I have a 27-inch screen, the one that's in front of me right now. And I bring it up, and we zoom up on it, and there's so many anomalies. Now, this is before it was confirmed that it was, in fact, a fake image. We just know this. So let's look at the image, folks, okay? So this image right here, what you're looking at, anybody, any professional will instantly know that this is fake. The first thing that stuck out to me, the very first thing, was the secondary light source coming from the left side of the screen, illuminating the clouds in the foreground. The clouds, as presented here in this image, are not illuminated from what would be the sun behind the quote-unquote moon. The other anomaly is the size of the moon. Okay, if the moon was that big in relationship to the Earth, first of all, from the ground here, it would look like the fucking Death Star, it would look like we were on the moon of Endor looking up at the fucking Death Star. Look, hey, there's your movie reference, okay? All right, we're talking about movies again. And not only that, if the moon was that close to the Earth, oh my God, the tides would be fucked up, the gravitational pull would be messed, shit would go down, okay? It would have an effect here on Earth. So the moon is far too big. The stars would not be visible, because the exposure setting that you would need to capture an image like this would not allow for the stars to be visible. They're too faint. The stars are too far away. You would not see the stars. Trust me. And I don't know if you can do this here on this video, but when I zoomed up on the quote-unquote moon, there are many digital artifacts in the darkness of the moon. Not to mention that the stars bleed and cross over into the darkness of the moon, so the moon is transparent. In other words, it's a poor fucking Photoshop job. It's a decent job as a small image on your phone, but it's a poor Photoshop job in and of itself. You could not blow this image up and put it on a wall. People would be like, what the fuck is this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this image was shared millions of times. No questions asked. Now, say what you want about all the conspiracy theories out there, okay? And some of them, I'm not going to get into details, right? Because, we don't want to. Some of them I think hold water. Some of them I tend to agree with, that I think, yeah, that's right. And some of them are like, nah, that's not really crap. Well, one that I don't buy into, that I think is a bunch of crap, is, of course, the flat earth thing, right? But say what you want about the flat earthers. Say what you want about them. But they're out there, and they're taking measurements, and they're looking at, horizons, and they're trying to be scientific. And I'm not saying it's right, but say what you want. They're out there trying to do something. If you want to give credit where credit is due, at least they're trying to do something. Take some sort of measurements. But these people shared this image, no questions asked. It was just shared. Caught like wildfire. It's a NASA image. Oh, it's a NASA image. Okay, I believe it. It's fucking scary. Okay, now, you might think that I'm overblowing this, but this is just a small example of how easy it is to manipulate the general public on anything. Nobody questions anything. You see this, it was shared by my friends and family. I had to, talk to a few family members and a few friends on Facebook. Like, dude, don't fucking share that. It's fake. And sure enough, it was confirmed a little while later that it was fake, and here's where the image comes from. This is, of course, a stock image that was created at least as far back as 2015, but I believe it might even be a year or two prior before that. And what blows my fucking mind is that why aren't all these people looking at this going, yeah, it's real, it's fucking real? Why aren't you going to NASA's website? There's a very easy way to sort of solidify this argument. Go to NASA's website and see the images that NASA has taken. And they are gorgeous. They're better than anything I took on my phone. I actually tried to take an image on my phone through the glasses. It actually turned out not too bad. But if you go to NASA's website, they have some pretty impressive images. But they don't look like this. Okay, they're not, this is clearly fake. And then some people would be like, well, yeah, but it's a nice image. No, but that's not the point. The point is it's not an image for which you thought you were sharing. You didn't share it because you thought it was a nice image. You shared it because you thought it was an image of the eclipse. That's why you shared it. The sheer fact that you're going, oh, well, it's a nice image. What does that... So you don't care about truth then. You don't care about the truth. You don't care about not looking like a complete douchebag. You only care about, it. Well, no, I mean, it's a nice image. Well, yeah, but that's not the point. The point is you shared it because you thought it was a picture of the eclipse. So you would think after you're told it's not, you would remove it, unless you have some sort of specific reason not to remove it. Anyway, here's the other image that was catching like wildfire yesterday. This one was shared millions of times, thousands of likes and comments and little hearts and little wows. It's fake. It's fake. Now, when I looked at this image, I instantly knew it was fake because it looks digital, because it is digital. It was created, I believe, with a mixture of Photoshop and After Effects. I did some research and I found the artist who created it. And they created it in, he created it, I should say, in 2011, I think it was. And the original image was actually a horizontal image like this. Here's the original image. Here's the original artist's website. This is where that image came from. But somebody took that image, put it vertical, probably because the light sort of looks like a cross, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to have all of the religious people out there who are very religious. And they were commenting saying, oh, this is the sign of Jesus. This is a true sign of God. What a beautiful image. Who's the photographer? Magnificent. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my God. Yes, he's coming. He's coming. I mean, but it goes to show you the power and how easy it is to manipulate and fool people. What's that saying? You don't need to fool everybody all of the time. You only need to fool some of the people some of the time or something. I'm paraphrasing it, but you know the same I'm talking about, right? And nowhere, I mean, we always know that's true, but I saw this and I thought, wow, with all due respect, for all intents and purposes, people are fucking dumb. And I don't mean dumb, I don't mean literally dumb. I mean, oh my God. You're sharing this, no questions asked. You're not going to the NASA website. And when people prove to you that no, it actually came from here, you go, well, no. Or, well, it's still a nice picture. What does that mean? It's still a nice, well, yeah, but you shared it because you thought it was a picture of the eclipse. Shouldn't you feel mortified? Shouldn't you feel duped? Shouldn't you feel embarrassed? Shouldn't you feel foolish? Because if you don't, that's fucking scary. That's scary that you don't. Anyway, maybe I'm overblowing this, but this goes to show you this minute in the big picture, no pun intended, example, how easy it is for governments, media, organizations, companies to manipulate and trick you and dupe you. It was scary. I took a step back, and from a purely sociological perspective, it didn't dupe everybody, of course. But I'm looking at this, I'm going, millions of views. Look at all these, millions of shares. Millions of shares! It was shared like 3 or 4 million times. It's like the population of Toronto. The population of Toronto is 3 million people. Toronto's the 4th largest city in North America. It's like the entire population of Toronto bought into this with no questions asked. Why? Because they saw it online. That's the equivalent of saying, well, I saw it on TV. I mean, and I know that those things happen, but it was just so in my face. It was just there. And I was like, why are people not, we're fucked. If something as simplistic and as simple as somebody just taking a random image from the internet that's been on the internet for a number of years, throws it up and just says, look at this NASA image, amazing. And everyone just goes, oh, wow, oh, wow. There's no looking at it, or and I know that not everybody is trained. Not everybody's a photographer. Not everybody's a videographer. I'm not knocking people on a personal level. I'm just simply saying that it's fascinating that how many people don't critical think, don't do their due diligence. They believe everything that is presented to them. Well, it says it's a NASA image. It says it. It's fascinating. It's just fucking fascinating to me. Anyways, comment below and let me know your thoughts. Were you duped? Hey, I'm not knocking you. I don't hate you. I'm not knocking you. It's not personal attack. I'm just stunned. I'm fascinated how many people were duped into thinking this. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Did you experience the eclipse? Were you somewhere in the United States? Here in Canada, we didn't get I think in BC, in Vancouver, you could experience, I think it was like 85% covered. But for the vast majority of Canada, we were sort of in the 75 percentile. But certainly in the States, were you in a part of the States where you saw the full solar eclipse and it felt like 9 o'clock at night, at 2:30 in the afternoon? Comment below and let me know. Also, comment below and let me know your thoughts on these images. Were you duped? Why do people do this? Did your friends, were you somebody who was like, no, dude, that's fucking fake? And you were like, were you trying to get your friends to be like, no, it's fake, come on. Comment below and let me know. Woo! I needed to do a video on this. It's scary. It's scary how something as simple as this can be shared millions of times. I mean, this isn't just a share amongst your friends where it gets 10 shares. This was millions. And I know that there are other examples of this. Comment below and let me know. Maybe there's some shit that I don't even know about, man. I mean, I'm a professional voiceover actor, so I spend a lot of time in my studio banging out national commercials and movie spots and shit, and sometimes I need to get out of my house a little more. Anyway, comment below and let me know. It's fucking scary, man. It's unbelievable. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. My name's Dave McRae. I'll be back soon, hopefully, with more movie talk. But yeah, I had to get that off my chest. Wow! Millions of people just went, yeah. Holy snap and crap.